Hello, APFSL. Welcome to the Season 1 playoffs. I I am your play-by-play commentator, Harish Prasad, and alongside me, I have Marcus Dunhill. How you doing today, Marcus?
Doing good. Thanks for having me. Super excited for playoff football.
Me too, and we have two big games coming up for you. As the first one, we have the Chapel Hill Cobras hosting the Syracuse Stallions. And this is a good one as during the season these two guys split their games 1-1. So, what do you think about the matchup, Marcus?
I think it's going to be interesting. It's been a long road throughout the season. Saw a lot of good stuff from every team, and I'm really excited to see how these teams match up in the playoffs.
Me too. And we're gonna head down to the field for the coin toss to see who gets the ball first. And the Stallions are going to receive the ball first. Live from Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Welcome to the Season 1 playoffs, and we're about to get things underway here. And we are underway. Kick it. The Stallions are receiving the ball, and they're going to bring it up to about the 29-yard line as the Stallions offense is going to come out onto the field led by quarterback Alfredo Fettuccini. And the rest of your offense, you've got halfback Jet Jukum, both wide receivers Mickey Martino and Adriano Capo, and tight end Sergio Giorgio. From the 29-yard line, first and 10, it's going to be empty backfield, two receivers to the top and two to the bottom. Fettuccini to throw. He's going to toss it to the side. He's going to get about 8 yards on the play to Jet Jukum.
Good play over the right side. Really did a good job making sure he got a few extra yards. Defenders on that side let him run a little bit too far. I don't know if they were going to try to push him out, but they didn't push him out nearly as fast as they should have and let up about 3 yards after the catch.
Yeah, so to get your second, and it's going to be 2nd and 2 from the Syracuse 36-yard line. You got two in the backfield, one receiver at the bottom. He's calling an audible here. Let's see what the Stallions run, and Fettuccini to throw again. He's going to go out to Jukum again, and he's going to shove a guy to the floor. He's going to get the first down to the 41-yard line.
Looked like Chapel Hill was stacked on the right side, and I wonder if that's initially what they were going to do. So they audibled out and then threw it to the left and were able to pick up a first down. That's likely my guess, and it was a good play call to get them that first down. Otherwise, they might have got stopped at the line of scrimmage.
They're going to run empty backfield here from the 41-yard line. Again, two receivers on either side. Fettuccini the throw. He's going to go to the middle. He's going to get the first down again. Tackled by Charles Ball in the backfield. And speaking of Charles Ball, let's introduce your Cobras defense. We got two defensive ends, Shervon Prasad, Danny Colon. We have two cornerbacks, Khalil Cohen, Sugandi's Nuts. And then your three safeties, Charles Ball Jr., Adam Gibbs, and Bubba Gump. Sorry I didn't give you a chance to analyze that player there, Marcus, but wanted to get that out of the way. 47-yard line. It's going to throw again. It's going to launch it downfield. It's going to be intercepted. I believe that is Bubba Gump, and he's going to return it all the way down to the 41-yard line. Good starting position here for the Chapel Hill offense to come back onto the to come out onto the field for the first time.
Highly unfortunate for Syracuse is their first long throw over the line of scrimmage, and it looked like they had a good plan for it. Just Bubba Gump was able to jump in front of the defender. It was just a little bit too far, and I don't know if the receiver ran a little bit too far out of his route, or if Bubba Gump just did a really good job getting in the way, but just a little bit too short, and that's going to cost him quite a bit and give Chapel Hill some good field positions close to the 50.
Here we go. We've got split backfield. Hunter Jones is going to hand it off to Ashley Jackson. Ashley Jackson's going to shove a defender to the floor. They're going to go no huddle here. They made it to the 40-yard line, 49-yard line, 2nd and 2. This is something we've seen Chapel Hill run quite often. They'll see something they like, and then they keep going no huddle. And sometimes it works. They're going to hand off to Jackson again. They're going to shove another defender to the floor. Ashley Jackson down to the 38-yard line. My goodness.
Jackson wasn't even tackled on that last one, just fell down after hitting somebody.
Goodness gracious. Going to hand it off to Jackson again. Jackson gets about a yard on the play. They're going to keep going no huddle. Hands it off once again. It gets taken down in the backfield, but they're still going to go no huddle. Wonder if the play is going to change here. Looks like Hunter Jones is going to throw. He's going to launch it downfield. That is Shea Carroll on the reception. Brings it down to the Syracuse 25-yard line to convert a 3rd and long.
Probably a good idea to get out of those running plays. They were working off and on, but it wasn't reliable enough to pick up that first down. So they went straight to their first passing play of the game and caught Syracuse a little bit off guard and was able to get the first down. So now if they want, they can go back to running without too much of a fear of needing to punt.
Yeah, now making it to field goal range. They're down at the 25-yard line. Just Jackson in the backfield and 2 receivers at the bottom of your screen. He's going to hand it off to Jackson once again. He's going to go up the middle. Gains about 6 yards on the play to the Syracuse 19-yard line.
Jackson's doing a good job running through people, and also, they're making good use out of running when they can and passing when they need to. But the runs really isn't slowing him down too much.
Alrighty. Down to the 19-yard line. 2 receivers to either side. He's going to hand it off to Jackson. Jackson shoves the defender down to the backfield. He's going to go for a touchdown. For the first touchdown of the playoffs, Ashley Jackson shoves the defender to the floor to score.
People are just getting too spread out. You can see they had one defender on that side to try to stop Jackson, and it just wasn't going to happen. Blew straight through one person, straight to the end zone. You got to be more careful, especially on previous plays this drive. You see Jackson trucking through 2 or 3 people on a single play. You can't have one line of defense on somebody like that. You always have to have 2 people watching him.
Goodness gracious, she ended a defensive guy's dude in the backfield. Goodness gracious, and Zach, you suck, eggs. I see you talking shit in the chat over there. And Mike Hawk is the kicker for Chapel Hill. He's going to come out for the extra point. And he comes through for Chapel Hill to make it a 7-point game.
Interested to see what Syracuse is going to do here when they get the ball back. They had some success on the short passes, but when they went long, straight to an interception, and the momentum went straight back to Chapel Hill. So I'm excited to see whether they try to start running the ball now or if they're going to continue with the passing game and keep those passes shorter.
Yeah, I was going to say that I don't think they ran the ball at all.
They did a screen in the backfield for a couple yards.
All right, Syracuse to receive the ball. He's going to get down to the 30. He's going to make it to the outside and gets to the 36-yard line. I believe that's Mickey Martino. Yes, it is. Jeff Melanishin says, no you. Well, no you. Alright, from the 36-yard line, decent starting position, 1 in the backfield, 3 receivers at the bottom, 1 at the top. He's going to throw again. He has a lot of time in the pocket. He sidearms it, and it's going to be intercepted once again. That is Sugandi's nuts, and he's really showboating out there. He's telling him to sug on these nuts.
Second interception, and honestly, Chapel Hill, I believe if I check the stats right, they have 3 of the top 5 secondary players in the league on their team. So this secondary is no joke. It's easily the best secondary in the league.
For sure. It's really a lot of the safety play there with Ball, Nuts, and Gump. Oh my god, that was hilarious. Alright, 1 on the backfield, 2 at the bottom from the 46-yard line. Again, excellent fielding position. Now it's going to be Ashley Jackson. She's gone again to the 10-5 touchdown, Chapel Hill. 2 quick touchdowns for Ashley Jackson as she continues to just dominate.
Time to see where this play went wrong. So it looks like they were just stacked up over the middle and to the left side, broke straight through, and it looks like there are no safeties back or anything like that. Maybe they were ready for the run, but they weren't expecting Ashley to get through there so quickly and run past everybody. Just easily outran everybody. Didn't even need to truck anybody. Straight into the end zone again. Second touchdown of the game, almost back to back. Not even like 5 minutes into the first quarter, and it's already 14-0. Time for Syracuse to try to figure out how they're going to play, and it doesn't look like passing the ball is going to be the answer.
Yeah, they're really gonna want to try and get that run going. Two quick touchdowns for Chapel Hill. Very impressive. And Mike Hawk kicks the extra point, and it is good. 14-0 Chapel Hill leads at home in the first ever playoff game. I'm going to take
Time
this
to,
sec. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, time to see if Syracuse is going to switch to that running game now.
Yeah, I think there's something they're really going to want to do. I mean, Jet Jukum isn't even a bad running back. I mean, he was third in the league in rushing. He was second in rushing yards, third in touchdowns with 2,314 yards. Martino to return. He's going up the middle. He's going to get up to the 28-yard line. I'm going to take a minute to thank some people who made this league happen, and none of this would have been able to happen if it wasn't for Crash Combs. I mean, recording hours and hours of gameplay. Make sure you all shout him out in the chat later or in Discord and give him a big shout out. 28-yard line. Syracuse lines up. Let's see what they do here. It's going to pass again. It's going to go out to Jukum in the sideline. He gets taken down to the backfield by Suck on These Nuts.
You know, they lined up, and I thought, hey, look, they're in a running formation. And what do? They pass. I mean, they got it to the running back, but they just need to flat out just start trying the runs.
Yeah, maybe
I mean,
trying
the
to get
worst thing
some.
that can happen is you get tackled, but they haven't even tried it yet.
Yeah, they have no rushing attempts so far, from what I can remember. 25-yard line after losing 3 on the play. There you go. He's going to hand it off. When he breaks a tackle, he's going to get back 4 yards to make another third and long situation.
It's not great, and they'll have to pass now. But one of the things I always say is, if as a running back, if you got 4 yards every single play, you'd go straight to the end zone. So, people may look at that as not a great run, but it's more than they need on every run if they can keep it consistent.
Here we go. Fettuccine to throw. He's going to sidearm it to the sideline. He's going to get out of bounds at 4th down, and they're going to have to punt the ball to give the ball to Chapel Hill once again.
Syracuse did a good job making sure they caught it, but they just didn't have a lot of room to get to that first down marker, unfortunately. So now they're going to have to do the smart thing and punt the ball back and see if they can play some defense and stop Ashley Jackson from running all over them.
Well, let's see if they can get a stop here on special teams first, because she's had some good special teams returns. I believe she had 3 touchdowns, if I'm not wrong. And they're going to punt it here. Jackson to return. Gets through, gets a few yards there to bring it up to the 36-yard line.
Took 2 people. They tackled her with 2 people on that particular play, which is good. Now it's time to see how they're going to adjust to this running game that so far has run all over them in this game.
All right, 1st and 10 from the 36-yard line of Chapel Hill. Jackson in the backfield, 2 receivers at the bottom. He's going to hand it off to Jackson once again. And shoves another defender to the floor and gains 7 yards on the play.
They almost had the same situation there where they broke free because people weren't over the middle, but looks like she's averaging 12.9 yards per carry right now, which is extremely high. Most running backs in the NFL average about 3 or 4.
All right, 2nd and 3 from the 43-yard line. 3 in the backfield, including Jackson. 1 receiver at the bottom. Hunter Jones to the throw. He's going to get it out to Jackson on the side. He's going to run up the sideline and get to the Syracuse 43. Another big play for Ashley Jackson, and she is carrying the load here. Pause.
She's really been a dual threat, honestly, catching the ball, running the ball. They haven't found a good way to really stop her from picking up at least 5 yards on any play she touches the football on.
Just realized I didn't do this, but I'm going to introduce the Syracuse defense real quick. So we have defensive tackle Frankie Vincenzo, middle linebacker Bobby Brown, and I'll finish that in a second. Hunter Jones to throw downfield, and almost intercepted. Hunter Jones is lucky he didn't get that one picked off.
I would say that was definitely a really good play by the defense to swat that ball out of the air and make sure Hunter Jones had no opportunity to get that football. But the Stallions really could have gotten that ball, I think. The person who swatted the ball ended up tackling Hunter instead of turning back for the football, and I think he could have gotten it if he would have went for it.
Yeah, it's definitely one they would have wanted the interception on. It gives the ball back to the Cobras, still here, and they're not doing much to stop them. Hunter Jones fakes, pumps it, and it's intercepted! I can't tell who that is.
Take a look on the replay quick, and they'll give us.
Francesco Matteo, one of the two cornerbacks for Syracuse.
Just got in front of the football and cut off their running route and didn't give them an opportunity. They probably, Chapel Hill probably wanted to run a couple yards out a little bit further, but when you're in front of the wide receiver, their speed is only as fast as you're going to let them go. If you slow down, they slow down, and then you have an opportunity to make a break on the football, and that's exactly what happened.
All right, Syracuse catching a break here. They're really going to want points on the board here. Two in the backfield, receiver at either side is going to hand it off to Jukum. Jukum shoves off a tackle, is going to gain about 7 yards on the play. Good play for Syracuse to start off the drive.
Good opportunity to be second and short, and now they can either pull out the short passes or go with the run again without too much of a worry about the third down situation that they'll be put in. As long as they don't lose yards on the play, they're in a pretty good situation being where they are right now.
2nd and 3, one receiver at the bottom, two in the backfield again. He's going to hand it off to Jukum again, and he's going to get stuffed, only gaining a yard. That is Charles Ball and Sagandi's Nuts on the tackle. Ball and Nuts.
So far, so good. Like I said, they gained a yard. It's not exactly what they wanted, but now it's 3rd and 2. Now they can try it again with the runner. They can go for the short pass. Either one is pretty viable. You just got to make sure you get it. Otherwise, you're going to be punting again.
He's going to hand it off again. He looks like he's going to get stopped in the backfield. Standing firm, the D of Chapel Hill.
98 yards for Ashley Jackson and 11 yards for Jukum on that run, or on that drive anyway.
They're going to have to punt it once again, and Syracuse is going to be disappointed that they couldn't get anything here. They're going to have to hope that their defense can get another stop.
See if Syracuse tries to pin them back with a punt.
Looks like the ball's going to get up to the 20. Ashley Jackson shoves a defender oh my goodness, shoves 2 defenders to the floor. It's going to get out to the 29-yard line. She gets about 9 yards.
They're really in the driver's seat, Chapel Hill is so far. They can pretty much control the clock if they want to keep running, and running is good for them. It really hasn't stopped them in any way so far, so that's likely what they're going to try to do is just keep running and keep the momentum and the clock on their side. And, you know, they're up 14, so as long as they don't want Syracuse to do anything.
It's going to throw, and it's intercepted once again. Back-to-back throws by Hunter Jones results in interceptions. It's going to be taken down by Ashley Jackson, number 31. I'm not sure who that is. And that's back-to-back picks for him. That is Lorenzo Andrea, the strong safety.
So 2 picks for both teams. It looks like floated it up a little bit too high. And then I think it was Syracuse cutting off the running route of the wide receivers and not giving them an opportunity to make a break on the football. So you need to be a lot more careful. I think they should have thrown the ball to the outside on the right where the defender wasn't. Because what ended up happening is they threw it to the inside to the left. The defender cut off their path, and they had no choice but to, let that ball go.
Great field position for the Stallions here. Surely they'll get points here. Hands it off to Jukum. Jukum gets a few yards. He's down the sideline to the 10, 5, touchdown, Syracuse. That is what they needed.
Little did you know when you said hopefully they get points here, you literally meant right here on this play. There's
I
6 points
literally,
for you.
I literally meant right there. And boy, what a play that was. Like we said, they needed to start running, and surely it works.
It does. I mean, you can see there that it's definitely a viable option. It's putting them back into a one-score game and giving them an opportunity.
And now for the extra point, the special teams. It is up and it is good. 7 point game. Syracuse brings it back to one score.
They really took their time with that snap. I was afraid that kick was going to get blocked.
I was saying the same thing. Do some shout outs to Jeff Melanishin, Ashley Jackson, Siege Falco, and a while ago, Zach Sandlin. And the kick is away. Jackson to return. Gets up to the 25, gets to the outside, and gets about the 32-yard line.
So we've seen a lot of interceptions so far by both teams, and it isn't even the end of the first quarter.
We've seen a lot of action here for the first playoff game. 8 carries for 98 yards for Ashley Jackson as they start from the 32-yard line. She is alone in the backfield with Hunter Jones. 2 receivers at the bottom, 1 at the top. Gonna hand it off to Jackson. Gets up the middle, clean, and shoves the defender away and gets the 46-yard line.
Jackson's just really been huge star in this offense, running for almost 13 yards on every single play.
All right, split backfield, 2 receivers at the bottom, 1 at the top for the 46-yard line. Hunter Jones hands it off. Ashley Jackson gets to the outside and gets away to the 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Chapel Hill, as they get a third touchdown for Ashley Jackson to make it 2 scores once again.
Syracuse is doing some stuff on offense, but on defense, they're just not doing enough to be able to stop Ashley Jackson just straight to the house every single time. The blocks were really good, shrugged off the defender, and then more good blocks. Just a whole all-around good play by everybody on that team to make an easy path for Ashley to get to the end zone.
Yeah, and plays like that are exactly why she's leading the league in touchdowns by running backs. She's got 25 on the season, tied with Tristan Carr actually, on the Orcas, who have also been unstoppable, losing only 2 games on the season. And Mike Hawk gets the kick up, and it is good. 21-7 for Chapel Hill. 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter.
Orcas will get an opportunity to try to make it further in the playoffs this afternoon after this game they'll be playing. So we'll see whether or not they'll be able to keep up pace with Chapel Hill.
Let's see if Syracuse can make some kind of a comeback here. They're only down 2 scores. They're still within grabbing reach of Chapel Hill. They're just going to want to start getting that offense going. Martino receives it. He's going to get down to the 35-yard line. Good return from Martino.
Not just the offense going, but they really need to find a way to stop Ashley Jackson. Otherwise, and it's not even the end of the first quarter. It's way too early to be letting somebody run like that.
Yeah, and they've been having trouble getting the passing game going too, but they've started finding a little bit more success on offense when they're running the ball. Fettuccine hands it off to Jukum. Jukum down the middle, shoves a defender to the floor, and gets out to the 49-yard line. Looks like he ended Charles Ball's life there. Goodness gracious. Getting a little bit of Ashley Jackson within him.
Jukum got a nice block on offense. You'll be able to see just getting through and then just tackled one person. And Was not able to get through the second defender that was grabbing him, wrapping him up, and down he goes. But it was still a really good run and still puts them in good position. They just need to make sure they secure the football.
All right, 1st and 10 in Chapel Hill territory on the 49-yard line. He's calling a change on the play here. Let's see what he does. He's going to throw here. Deep drop back. Sidearms it to the side, and it deflected away by Khalil Cohen.
Just making too many risky plays. As soon as I saw that thrown, the only thing I saw was three purple jerseys, and I thought, no way. I knew Syracuse wasn't going to come up with that ball, and it's very lucky it wasn't intercepted. They need to be a lot more careful with where they're throwing the football.
Let's see what they do on 2nd and 10 here. They're really going to want to protect that ball for sure. One receiver to either side. Juke him in the backfield with the fullback. He's going to hand it off to Jukum. Jukum is stuck in the backfield. He gets taken down by Sugandi's nuts again.
Time to see what they're going to do on 3rd and 12. My instincts are they're going to try to make a big throw, and that's usually not working out for them so far. So
They're just going
see
to...
if they want to try something tricky. Otherwise, see if they can make that throw.
Hopefully for them, they're going to want to avoid another interception. Empty backfield, 3 at the top, 2 at the bottom. Fettuccine to throw. He's going to launch it downfield. Oh, and it's intercepted once again. We were just saying that they're going to have to hope to avoid a pick, and unfortunately for them, Charles Ball was right there.
They just can't move the ball down the field this particular time. It was just the ball was overthrown, and the defender stopped. Ball stopped, waited for the football to come right to him, and Syracuse just couldn't catch up to the football. That's completely on the quarterback. All he had to do was throw it a little bit closer to his receiver, underthrow it just a little bit, and I don't think Ball would have even been able to make a play on it.
Jones throws it downfield, and it's caught by Senior Chappelle. His first reception of the game, and it's a big play for the Chapel Hill Cobras here.
Definitely a good throw.
Much better from Hunter Jones.
Yep, and I think it was, yeah, it was over the shoulder one defender. I was gonna say in between two, but the other one wasn't quite over there yet, so it was really just one-on-one. But a good play and gives them an opportunity. They can, if they want, just let the whole rest of this first quarter wind down in the last 10 seconds here.
And let's see what they do here. It's looking like it's going to go down. Oh, no, they're going to snap the ball. Jones throws it in the middle again. That's Shea Carroll. Got to the 25-yard line to end the first quarter here. 28 yards on 2 catches. That's going to do it for the first quarter on the APFSL, brought to you by, well, we don't have any sponsors. We're just a league doing its shit on its own.
No sponsors yet.
We shall see where this goes downfield. Speaking of, if anybody is interested in becoming an owner for the All-Pro Football Simulation League, we have spots open. So make sure you head onto the league announcements channel on Discord and fill out the application. Jones throws it to the middle. He's got Ashley Jackson is going to get 7 yards. Oh, no, that's not Ashley Jackson. That is... I forget who this is. Oh, it's Drew Peacock.
So far, Chapel Hill's just completely dominant in all facets of this game so far. They've thrown a couple interceptions on their own, but it clearly hasn't cost them too much.
Yeah, the Chapel Hill defense has been firm. And Hunter Jones to throw, goes a little bit down, and that ball was incomplete. I couldn't tell what happened there for a second.
Yeah, it looks like just a little too much play over the middle going for that football, and nobody came up with it.
Probably lucky he didn't get intercepted again.
Yeah, both these quarterbacks have a fairly bad history of interceptions so far in this game.
I think that's been the case for most of the league. I don't think anybody actually has a positive interception touchdown ratio as that goes out to the sideline. That's number 82 again. That's Drew Peacock again.
Guy was trying to take out the yard marker on the outside there. Dove over the receiver and hit the yard marker.
It's another first down for Chapel Hill as they're
That's how
down.
much
Sorry, go
that's how
ahead.
much Syracuse hates first downs.
First and 10 from the 13-yard line. Chapel Hill knocking on the door once again. They're going to blitz here. It's going to get it out to Jackson. Out to the sideline. Gains 8 yards on the play. It seems like every time she touches the ball, she's just going to get into the end zone. Goodness gracious. I thought she was gone for a second.
I did too, but they did a good job making sure she stayed out of bounds on the right side. As long as they can hold here and force them to kick a field goal, that's better for them, but it's still not as great as it could be. They just need to make sure they start moving and scoring those points on offense. If they score 3, you need to score 7.
Well, speaking of scoring 7, Ashley Jackson gets the 4th touchdown to make it 27-7 Chapel Hill. Oh my goodness. She has 4 touchdowns.
They need to go score for score, and they need to find a way to slow down Ashley because so far, I don't think there's been a single drive where they've stopped her yet.
Yeah, and the 2 stops on defense that they actually got were interceptions when Hunter Jones went deep. And this game is getting way further out of hand. It's slowly getting away from Syracuse. It was much closer the last time they played. These two teams split the series during the season. Syracuse definitely started out the season as one of the stronger teams too. They were second behind the Orcas for a long time. They ended the season 6-4, and it's kind of a tale of two. It's kind of 2 different stories you got here for each team. I mean, the Syracuse Stallions were not losing much at all, and then towards the end of the season they kind of stalled a little bit, which was the direct opposite for the Cobras. They started out 0-3, and they're running hot. Ever since then, they won 7 straight games. Martina receives the ball and gets to the 25-yard line.
Sometimes teams just have your number, though. You can be a good team playing another good team, and it's just not your day, and stuff like this happens. Being a Miami Dolphins fans, I can't tell you how many times we have a terrible season and then beat the Patriots at least once. That kind of stuff just happens.
Well, we still got a whole second quarter and the whole second half to play here. Syracuse got to make something happen quick, though. Before it gets out of hand, it's going to go out to Jukum. Gets 2 yards on the play.
They really need to show some life and try to cut down this deficit a little bit before halftime. Because they can definitely do it after halftime, but you definitely would really like to only be down by 7 or 14 at the most when you go into the half.
2nd and 8 from the 26-yard line. Let's see what the Stallions do here. 1 receiver to either side. Offset I formation. It's going to be another handoff to Jukum. Shoving another defender down, and it's going to be another first down for Syracuse.
They're doing a good job. They're moving, but they don't want to burn too much time off the clock. At the end of the day, they still have 21 points that they need to get back, and their defense isn't playing in such a way that I'd be confident in them making that up quickly. So they need to make sure that they keep moving the ball on offense to give their defense as much time as they can to make sure they can make stops and give the offense more time again to play.
All right, Fettuccine to throw. He's gonna he has a man open. Oh no, he dropped it.
Quarterback was also hit when he threw, so I was a bit concerned as soon as he threw it too.
Yeah, that was Danny Colon getting the pressure on him.
Definitely had an opportunity to catch that football. It wasn't as errantly thrown as I thought it was going to be when he got hit.
Definitely seemed like a play that should have been made, but it ends up being another good defensive play by Chapel Hill, as it's an empty backfield. This is interesting here. 2 receivers to the other side. He's going to throw it. It's going to go to the middle. It's going to get to 3rd and 2nd.
That was risky. That was right between 2 defenders. it worked, but that's probably not something I would have done in the situation they're in. So now they got a 3rd and 2, which means they can go to the run, which is good, but uh, that was, I think, questionable, but they're lucky.
All right, you got 8 minutes remaining of the second quarter as Syracuse has the ball on the 43-yard line. They can hand it off to Jukum. Jukum gets the first down. Gonna get it up to the 48-yard line. They're moving, but they're moving a little slow.
It was good patience by Jukum waiting for something from that line and the line to push forward to give him enough room to get to that first down, because he just didn't have anywhere to go through on that play.
All right, 1st and 10 from the Syracuse 48-yard line. A receiver at the bottom, a fullback, and Jukum in the backfield. He's gonna throw again. He's gonna go to the side to Jukum. Jukum gets about 4 yards on the play. Not the worst play you could have run, but you're probably going to be wanting to getting bigger gains on these plays, being down a lot.
What I would like to be doing if I were them is I would like to have enough time left in this quarter to score. Give your defense a chance to stop them and then score again if you can. That would be my goal for that team for the rest of this quarter, is to score twice.
He's going to hand it off, and he's going to get met in the backfield. Loses about 3 yards on the play.
They're going to have to go back to the throwing again and see if they can pick up some yards.
That was Shervan Prasad on the tackle. That is my brother, and he is a loser.
It's very unfortunate.
At the 50-yard line, 3rd and 7. It's looking like he's going to throw here again as he's alone in the backfield with 5 receivers out wide. And he's gonna get sacked for the first sack of the game by either team. I believe that is Danny Cologne. No, it's not. Number 90. I forget who that is every time.
It's really going to throw Syracuse out of whack on their plan to try to score a couple times before half. Now they really need to do something special if they're going to have a chance to get 2 or even 1. They just need to play as well as they can now.
Syracuse punts it away. Jackson receives it. And she's not going to get very far. She brings it out to the 27-yard line for Hunter Jones to bring it back out again.
Likely to see them just hand the ball off to Ashley again, as they've been doing. It's been working very well for them. But we really need to see Syracuse make some stops, force a punt, and get that ball back and let their offense have another go at it.
Jones has got 4 receivers out wide and Jackson in the backfield. And it is going to go to Jackson as she gets taken down in the backfield. Good play by Syracuse to make them lose 2 yards on the play.
That's exactly what they need to do, but what I'm worried is they might kill some time off the clock and then let up a 3rd down play to keep that clock rolling again. So let's see if Syracuse can make use out of this and continue to make some stops. Preferably stop the clock as well.
Jones is going to throw it, and almost intercepted, but they're going to run no huddle. 3rd and long, and they're going to go no huddle here. Interesting call by Jones. And Jones to throw. He's going to get it out to the side. Senior Chappelle, and he's just barely going to get there as he gets it out to the 37-yard line. They're going to keep going no huddle here.
I don't think I've ever seen a team run no huddle without a running clock.
And it's going to go out to, I believe that was Ligma Balls. Yep, that's exactly who that was. The clock is still running, but they're still going no huddle. I'm questioning why they're going no huddle when they really should be killing time off the clock. And Jackson doesn't get very far, but still shoves the defender to the floor. No huddle once again. 3rd and 2nd. Jones to throw. He's going to get it out to the side, and they're going to get a stop here as he loses a yard. Senior Chappelle on the reception. Couldn't quite see who got the tackle.
4th and 3 gives Syracuse an opportunity to get the ball back. It was kind of questionable no huddle by Chapel Hill. They had a lot of opportunities to run a lot more time off the clock.
Well, looks like Syracuse is going to get the ball here. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it really benefited Syracuse quite well. It gives them plenty of time to work with, but they didn't move down in 4 minutes last time, so they really need to move a lot quicker on the next drive.
Absolutely, and the fielding position is not going to help them much as they're only at the 18-yard line.
Problem is they can't go with those long passes. They always get picked off, so they have to figure out short passes and runs. But they need to do it in such a way that they get down the field quickly. Likely they'll need to go into no huddle.
Two receivers at the bottom, one at the top. Let's see what Fettuccini does here, and he's going to hand it off to Jukum, and Jukum is not going to get anywhere as he loses a yard on the play.
Loses a yard, and it looks like they're not going to be in any hurry to snap the ball again.
You know, maybe they'll be waiting to ride this out until halftime, but I don't see why you would do that when you have 4 minutes.
Not only do you got 4 minutes, but you're down 21 points. You don't want to waste any opportunity. Every single minute matters when you're down that far. Otherwise, you get to the end of the game wishing you had more time on the clock.
Alright, let's see what they do here. 2nd and 11. They're going to hand it off once again. And he's going to get somewhere. And he shoves a defender to the floor. Shoving defenders everywhere. Somehow picks up the first down. Finally taken down by Sanchez. Sanchez, and it's not Sanchez. He says that all the time. By Cohen and suck on these nuts.
Really good run by them, but they're burning too much time in between plays. It was 30 last time, and they really need to keep moving. They moved well, but they need to move quicker in between plays.
Jeff in the chat says it's the Sanchez brothers. I forgot you guys are the Sanchez brothers. Nuts and Cohen. 1st and 10. Fresh set of downs for Syracuse here as they got receiver to either side. He's going to hand it off once again, and he's going to get nowhere.
Definitely a good stop by Chapel Hill. Everything's in their favor. As soon as they get the ball back, they can pretty much ride it out to halftime if they get that opportunity to. Otherwise, Syracuse needs to start making some plays. They're running out of time.
Yeah, they haven't gotten very far. I mean, they had 4 minutes left when this drive started, and we're very closely sneaking up on the 2-minute warning here.
They've only run, I think, like 3 plays.
Yeah, they've only ran the ball so far. Understandably why, because they don't want to be giving the ball away. So they're gonna hand it off once again, and he breaks a few tackles to get 5 yards on the play, but another 3rd down for Syracuse, and they're probably gonna have to be passing here.
I think it's one of those things where you play more conservatively in the playoffs because you don't want to make a mistake that's going to cost you the game.
Empty backfield for Syracuse. It's Fettuccini all alone. 2 receivers to either side. He's going to throw. He's going to sidearm it, and he's got a receiver. I believe that is Mickey Martino as they get the first down, but they are going to get to the 2-minute warning here. Syracuse looking to put some points up on the board.
They've done well moving the ball down the field. They took 2.5 minutes off so far, and they're just to midfield. They're a slow moving team, but if they can put it together, it can work out for them. They just need to play more consistent on both sides of the ball.
I mean, we've totally seen big comebacks before in APF. It's not crazy to think that it could happen here. We've seen a lot of crazy things happen in this league. Alright, after the 2-minute warning, Syracuse line up, and oh, he's going to jump off sides here. They're going to get about
There's
5
5
on
yards
that.
for you.
Costly mistake by a jumpy defensive line by, well, not that costly, but it's probably not one you should be making.
It's,
That's
first flag
masturbate.
we've seen. First flag we've seen in the game. Marcus is undies on the play. You see how yellow those are.
Yeah, my undies are on the field. Anyways, 1st and 5 now after the penalty. They're going to hand it off to Jukum once again. After the 2-minute warning, only going to gain 2 yards there. And that clock is still bleeding. away as we're slowly approaching halftime.
This is where they needed to be a no huddle for sure, but they're just not. I think that all they want to do is try to score points on this drive and leave no time for Chapel Hill to do anything.
And they're going to hand it off once again, and he's going to lose a bunch of yards, about 4 yards there. As, oh my goodness. And that's another third down, and the clock is still running.
They're going to be back to 3rd and 7, and it's worked out a couple of times for them, but 3rd and long is not historically good for this team.
And Fettuccine to throw here. He's got time. He's going to launch it, and he's got a man on the side. He's going to get out of bounds. That's Mickey Martino as he gets shoved out by Ball and Cohen.
Good play for them. They do have quite a bit of time, and now they're within field goal range, but they really can't settle for 3 points. They have to go for a touchdown. Looks like they have about a minute left. Try to play the boundaries, get out of bounds as much as possible, save their timeouts. They're going to be moving slow. They can't burn too much time in between plays with the running clock.
They still have 3 timeouts here with about a minute left. It's going to be another empty backfield. He's going to throw. He's going to launch it downfield, and he's got a guy. That's Martino. He's going to get down to the 5-yard line. Syracuse knocking on the door with just a minute left, and they burn their first timeout.
Got it with a one-handed catch. What a great catch for Syracuse.
Great play by Martino there.
Now they're on the goal line. Now they can see if they want to run this ball in or try to throw it. I'd probably stick with the run. It's a little bit safer. And you still have a couple timeouts.
Yeah, now you're
time.
kind of at the point where you can be running the ball. And it looks like they might be doing that here, the way they're lined up. And he's going to get away. Oh, and he's going to get it for the touchdown. Syracuse finally gets the touchdown. Jet Jukum.
Good play, but I wondered if his knees were down before he got to the goal line. I kind of want to just see really quick where that goal line is. Oh,
Ooh,
man,
that's
going to be a
close.
close one. Whether or not his elbows or knees were down, but I don't know if they're going to review it or challenge it.
Let's see if RCC... it's under 2 minutes, so I don't think they can challenge it anymore. I don't know if that's a thing in APF, but it doesn't
looks like they're going to let it go.
Yeah, it looks like they're not going to review that one as the special teams is out on the field to kick the extra point. A little bit of a break there for Syracuse, but definitely much needed points to get this within 14 before halftime. Outside of a possibility of Chapel Hill returning the ball again.
Well, they got 57 seconds, which is enough time for Ashley to do just about anything. All it takes is 10 to 12 seconds for Ashley to run to the end zone.
Even with Ashley returning the ball, she could score immediately. I mean, I think she did that in the last game of the season, if I remember right. And the ball is away. Ashley Jackson gets the ball. She can get up to the 30-yard line, and not much further than that. There's about 52 seconds remaining, so let's see if Chapel Hill just hands the ball off to Ashley Jackson and lets the clock bleed out. Or if
I think they'll hand it off to Ashley Jackson and see if she can go to the end zone. They have plenty of time, and she's been able to do it before. You know, taking the clock down is only a side effect of her running the football.
I mean, she's definitely actually scored touchdown in these type of situations where it's close to the end of the half. But no, Jones is going to throw, and he's going to get sacked. Charles Bellagio. Well, it doesn't say he got a sack on that, but it says his name there. Interesting. It looks like he got the sack. I'm going to say he got it. Second and 16. Now are they going to hand the ball off? It looks... He's going to throw once again. He's going to get out to the side. That is Senior Chappelle. And gaining about 15 on that play to make it only 3rd and 1. But
Looks
that
like
clock
it's
is still
going to
going.
stop the clock.
Oh, it's going to stop the clock.
Yeah, otherwise it would have ran probably down to 0.
Huh, it didn't look like he got out of bounds there.
I guess maybe they called his foot out of bounds before the ball hit the ground.
Looks like, but...
His outside leg.
Yeah. I mean, they're at the 39-yard line. Let's see if Jones hands it off. doesn't look like he's going to. I think they want to try and at least get to field goal range. And he's going to throw once again. Almost sacked. He gets pressured and the ball is knocked away.
Too short to get one more try. It's 4th and 1. The question is, do you hand the ball off or you just punt it away? Probably not enough time for Syracuse to do anything, but, makes you wonder if you can get that 1 yard. Otherwise, you don't want to
I think
go backwards or it gives them a chance to kick a field goal.
this is honestly one of those situations where you wouldn't mind seeing them do one of those timeout cheese plays, try and draw them off sides. But it looks like they're going to punt here.
Probably the safest bet for them.
The ball is away. Let's see what happens here. And he's going to spin away and gets out to the 23-yard line.
We're
3
gonna get
seconds
one play
remaining.
from Syracuse.
That's about
See
one
if
play to launch downfield.
See if we can get that 77-yard Hail Mary. Likely they might just run the ball just to end the half.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like here. Only one receiver out wide. No, they're going to throw. Just going to go out to the side to juke him. I mean, that's pretty much as good as running the ball. It only gains 2 yards on the play.
That'll take us to halftime.
And quite an eventful first half. 28 Chapel Hill, 14 Syracuse. 14-point lead for the home team as we get into the halftime break.
Let's take a look at these stats really quick. I'm kind of curious how they're matching up. You can see the running yards 167 against 90, and passing yards 127 to 98. It's a little bit closer. The time of possession is actually in Syracuse's favor. That's kind of interesting. That just shows you how much time they take with the football and how little time Chapel Hill takes. They're up 14 and they still have a minute less time of possession.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm not surprised at all to see Syracuse leading that stat, but the curious thing, the sleeper for me is Hunter Jones actually is not doing terribly despite the 2 interceptions. He still's got 127 passing yards. Got a few good plays when he needed to.
Yep. I think, they're only behind by 14, which in the grand scheme of things isn't a ton. And I think if their defense would have played up a little bit further, it'd be a much closer game. So their offense is doing about what they need to. But these playoff games are making and breaking, and if the defense isn't going to do it, the offense is going to have to.
And Syracuse, on the bright side, still has an entire second half to make a comeback, but their defense is really going to want to figure out what to do about Ashley Jackson and see what type of adjustments they're going to make at halftime.
I hate to see it, but I think we're going to need to see a different Syracuse game plan coming out in the second half.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're like we saw before with the time of possession. They're taking a long time to get these plays into the end zone whenever they were successful in doing so.
I'm interested to see what the second half has for us here in the playoff action. It's been a good first game so far. It's still pretty close. It looks like it might have been a blowout earlier, but they're slowly but surely making it back, and it's still competitive 2-score game, so it's not too bad, not out of reach for either of these teams so far.
And they are going to get the ball to start the second half, I believe.
That might be why they took it a little bit slower when they had the ball when there was about 7 to 4 minutes left in the half. They were just going real slow with it and not running no huddle and trying to get to the end zone. I was hoping they would try to get an extra possession out of it, but they didn't. And that's okay. They just wanted to make sure they didn't get any further behind.
All right, so we got halftime rolling on. Just to say, we've got, the second half is about to start soon, but we are going to be calling the second game too, in which the DC Fighter Jets are going to take a visit to San Juan to face the Orcas. Shortly after this game concludes, again called by myself, Harish Prasad, on play-by-play, alongside Marcus Dunhill. Thank you very much for being here, Marcus. It is awesome to have you in the broadcast booth.
Happy to do it, man. Thanks for having me.
No, I was wrong. Chapel Hill is actually going to get the ball. And actually, Jackson is going to return it. He's going to go out to the side. Gets about to the 33-yard line. Good return for Jackson.
Time to see if Syracuse is going to come out with a new defensive game plan.
Let's see how much they're going to be running the ball here for Chapel Hill, because it's a little different from how I've seen Chapel Hill run things throughout the season. I mean, they've been actually surprisingly pass heavy. I mean, Ashley Jackson is actually second to last, I believe, in rushing yards, but somehow leads the league in touchdowns. And surely enough, Jones is going to pass it. He's going to get to the middle. He's caught by Ligma Balls, the tight end.
Good play. I think the game plan for Chapel Hill has to be run the time, run the time, run the time. Because one of the things you've noticed is what Syracuse likes is they like to use their clock, or they like to have their clock. So if you force them to not have clock, you're going to force them to make rushed plays and mistakes and that kind of thing. So it's well in your favor to run as much time of this clock as you can.
And surely enough, the first play out of halftime is a pass play. I find that pretty interesting for Chapel Hill to be doing. And he's going to pass it again, and almost sacked, and he gets it out to the side, and a spin move, and he keeps going to the 50-yard line, and he is away. Just one defender to beat. Touchdown, Chapel Hill. What a play by Shea Carroll.
What a play. Honestly, when he caught the ball, I thought, okay, he's running out of bounds, and then he spun back in, and I thought, okay, good. He's spun back in, but he's going to get tackled. The clock's going to keep going. And then all of a sudden, he just kept going and going. I did not think he was going to roll back in, and he did. And good opportunity. Looks like they picked up a block and worked out extremely well for them. They didn't even need to run clock. They're just going to get 7 more points. Or 6 anyway. Maybe 7.
Jeff says in chat, every time Hunter passes, I hear Harish's voice change like, you better not throw a damn pick, Hunter. You're damn right, I'll have to get that damn belt out and whip his ass again if he throws another pick.
Can't be short with Hunter.
He needs discipline, and it looked like it was about to be blocked, but Mike Hawk gets the extra point up, and it is good. 35-14. Surely enough, another 21-point game. Not what Syracuse wanted to see here to start the second half.
No, we need to see what they've got on offense now. Hopefully, it's a little different than what they've been doing. Team just isn't making those big plays on offense and defense. You need to be a playoff contender. They're a very good team, but they're just not putting it together in this game.
And Martino shoves off a few defenders, gets out to the 29-yard line. Good return by Martino. And he's not doing too bad here today, despite the offense being a little bit stale.
A little bit, but they're still doing okay. I think it would be a much different game with the defense. I think the defense is struggling a little bit.
Ashley Jackson is not an easy running back to stop. One receiver to either side for Syracuse to start from the 29-yard line. Is going to hand it off to Jukum, and Jukum shoves off a defender. Oh, maybe not. Just takes him down after 4 yards.
Still averaging 5.2 yards per carry, which is still pretty good.
I mean, they haven't been too bad in the run game. It's just a lot of turnovers whenever, or not enough big plays when they actually throw the ball.
Turnovers, passing stalls them out a little bit is kind of the issues they've been having on offense. Not making the right plays at the right time has been hurting them.
It's a little bit of a one-dimensional game, if I could say so myself. And he's going to pass it here. Let's see if that changes. And no, it's going to be intercepted. Third interception, and numbers 2 by Charles Ball. He's got 2 balls.
Dang, man.
Sorry, I could not say it. I've been saying it all year.
Just jumped on the ball and made a really good play on it. Defender, or I guess wide receiver, who became the defender. Wide receiver had no opportunity on that ball.
And a little bit more of the same patterns we've been seeing from the first half by Syracuse here, as Chapel Hill gets good field position here. I formation. It's going to throw again. And he's gonna get. Oh, he shoves the defender off, and he's still gonna go. No, that's incomplete. Somehow gets the ball away. Hunter Jones did well there not to get sacked.
Scary play. They don't rule that any kind of fumble. You know, you see a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL try to throw it away as soon as they're getting hit, and what happens? It slides right out of their hand and off to the other team it goes.
Tuck rule, am I right? Frankie Vincenzo, I think, was the player that got pressure on him. He's gonna hand it off to Jackson finally, and gains about 7 yards on the play. I think that was her first handoff in the second half. Surprisingly, Chapel Hill has been pretty aggressive.
So far, they've done a lot of things well in this game. Managed their throwing, their running, and their defense have all worked pretty well.
And they're gonna get another first down as Shea Carroll has the ball. Gets it out to the Syracuse 31-yard line, and Chapel Hill has their keys again because they are driving.
Carroll made a good decision to stay in bounds. He easily just could have ran that one out, and I thought he looked like he was running to do that, and then he just kind of turned back in and got tackled. So good job for them because just all they need to do, I think, is run down the clock, and they might be able to run away with this one.
Getting close to field goal range here as they're on the 31-yard line. Jackson in the backfield. 3 receivers to the bottom, 1 at the top. It's looking like he's going to pass here again. And he indeed is. And he's going to have a weird spin and get it out to the sideline. How did she not lose yards on that play? She gets 3 yards somehow. It looked like she was stuck in the backfield.
That would have been a really bad play for anybody that isn't Ashley Jackson, honestly. You catch that ball and you go down 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage is usually what happens. So far the rating's not so good. The yards are good. The interceptions are killing him.
He's done better ever since that second pick. I mean, those came early in back-to-back plays, and he's going to hand it off to Jackson here. Jackson gets about 8 yards on the play to make it 3rd and 2nd. No, that's 5 yards. My mistake.
All they have to do is hand it off again, and, you know, history says they'll probably get 2 yards.
Let's see what they do here. 3rd and 2nd, split backs, 1 receiver to either side. And he actually is going to pass, and he's going to get to the middle, and he's got a guy. He's got Senior Chappelle.
Down to, looks like the 9-yard line.
I believe so. It was a good play by Hunter Jones there. Snuck that ball right in there. Pause.
Okay, it is 1st and goal. I was like, for a second I didn't see 1st and goal, and I'm like, shouldn't it say 1st and goal and not?
Yeah, I missed that entirely. Alright, he's going to hand the ball off to Ashley Jackson, and she's going to gain about 5 yards on the play. They're getting closer and closer, and they're bleeding the clock now.
That's the thing. It doesn't matter how many yards they get. Every single run can be 30 seconds off the clock, and that's a lot more valuable than any amount of yards. You know, the points are great, but they don't need them really in this game so far. They just need to keep going on that clock so the game doesn't last forever for them.
They got 4 receivers out wide. Jackson alone in the backfield. It's going to go to Jackson, and she's going to get to the outside, and she strolls in for her 5th touchdown of the game. Having a real Zach Sandlin game here.
Getting to the point where you got to start hitting the panic button on Syracuse.
The game is just slowly getting away from them.
They have the opportunity to come back. They just don't have enough time, a lot of time to do it. So if they start making mistakes or they start not capitalizing on drives, they're going to quickly run out of time to be able to come back. They're about at the point where they really need to get hustling.
Yeah, it's almost getting to the point where they're going to have to start passing a lot more.
And that's what's dangerous for them. They've had a lot of trouble passing deeper into the back of the field.
And this is where things could go from bad to worse for them if they don't really figure out what they're going to do here, especially in the passing game.
That's what happens to a lot of bad quarterbacks who throw tons of picks. The teams get behind and then they get forced to make crazy throws, rush throws, and then all of a sudden they, almost lead the league in interceptions.
I mean, Alfredo Fettuccine is definitely not a bad quarterback, I would say. I mean, he actually had he has some pretty good numbers here. 2,101 yards, 16 touchdowns with a 73% completion rate. It's about middle of the road compared to the rest of the league, but it's not bad.
I was more referring to a poor quarterback in another league.
Oh no, I wasn't specifically addressing you. I was just
Yeah.
talking more, going more in depth into his numbers. He does have 18 interceptions though. All right, let's see what they do here as they're on the 29-yard line. They're going to hand it off to Jukum, who's not going to get very far. He gets about 3 yards on the play.
That's one of Syracuse's issues now is they're best at running the ball, and running the ball is going to take the clock, and the clock is not their friend.
Absolutely, and you kind of got to start wondering when they're going to abandon the run game.
I don't think they can. That's the issue.
2nd and 7 as Fettuccini's going to pass the ball here. Let's see what he does. He's going to go not very far. It's going to hit the defensive lineman. That was Danny Colon on the pass deflection.
3rd and 7. They definitely have to try to throw it again now, and they are just running out of opportunities to stay in this game right now.
It's one of those dangerous plays they're going to have to make again and pray it works. So they got 5 receivers out wide. 3rd and 7. Fettuccine to throw. He's got time in the pocket. He's going to get to the middle. Oh, it's going to be incomplete. It bounces off of Martino. Good play by Chapel Hill to get another 4th down.
So conventional wisdom says it's way too early to go for it on 4th down. Part of me says you're almost down by 20 points. At what point do you start saying it's make it or break it time on the field?
Normally I would agree with that. I think it's kind of to the point where you got to start going for it when you're on the other side of the field. The problem is if they do it here and they don't get it, they're going to give up way more points than they'd like to. Jackson has the ball. Goodness gracious. One defender went flying out to the 35-yard line. Decent position for Chapel Hill. Go ahead, Marcus.
I was gonna say it's definitely risk reward, and I'm not specifically saying that was the best opportunity to go for it, but there comes a point where you either give up too much time by giving the ball back or points, and you just basically have to say, if we can't make it, we're probably not going to have a chance, and you just have to go for it at some point.
I get what you're saying. That makes sense to me. And to the 35-yard line, 1st and 10. Jackson launches it, or sorry, Jones launches it, and it's incomplete.
Good play on the defense.
And their passing defense isn't the worst. I mean, they've haven't given up any receiving touchdowns, and they've gotten 2 picks, I believe.
They have let up a fair amount of bigger passes, though, unfortunately, in this game. But their run defense is mostly what's killing them in this game so far.
I mean, a lot of teams have definitely struggled against this Cobras. And oh my goodness, another dangerous throw by Hunter Jones.
Getting those knockdowns is good, but if you can get the ball taken back and give you an opportunity on your side of the field, a lot better for your team.
And one of their touchdowns was actually from an interception that gave him field position from the 30-yard line, I think. It was something like that. 3rd and 10 for Chapel Hill here. Jones is going to throw. He's going to go to the middle, and he's not going to get there.
I'm going to call it 4th and 4, but I thought it was shorter than that.
Well, regardless, he was short of the line.
Yep.
And a good defensive drive by the defense here, and they're going to get the ball again. And the punt is away. And Martino has the ball. He's going to go up the middle. He's going to get to about the 31-yard line.
I watch some of these punt returns and I wonder why they don't do more fair catches. Ran straight into Chapel Hill defenders.
I think that's just the thing that happens in APF. I mean, I see it a lot. I wonder the same thing. First and 10 from the 31-yard line for Fettuccini and company. And he's going to throw here, and he's going to go out to the side, and Jukum does not get very far. They're going to say he got back to the line of scrimmage here.
235 passing yards to 98. 2 picks to 4. You can just see a substantial difference between the offenses on both sides.
And both parts of the game, too. I mean, Ashley Jackson has just been running all over the place. And, you know, the most successful part of the Syracuse offense is the run game, but it hasn't been able to produce much for their offense as he gets nowhere once again. Tackled by Adam Gibbs. We haven't called his name yet.
They're already back to 3rd and 10 now, so they're kind of in dangerous waters.
And they got 4 receivers out wide here. Jukum with Fettuccini in the backfield. Fettuccini to throw. He's got time in the pocket, and he's going to go. Oh, almost intercepted. Probably should have been.
It's good enough for them. They're up high enough that they don't even really need a pick. All they have to do is force the punt, and that's just as valuable at this point. If not more so, it gives them more field to run more clock.
Absolutely, and you know, we've still been seeing them pass quite a bit, and I mean, it doesn't look like they're ready to let up yet. They want to make the statement here. It's playoffs, baby. And the ball is away. Ashley Jackson to receive it. And just charges into a guy as he lowers her shoulder. Gets out to the 34-yard line.
Good tackle by Syracuse. Knocked Ashley over.
Yeah, for sure. She didn't get very far. It seems like every time she gets the ball, somebody just goes flying. Split
That's just a
backfield.
fun part of football.
For sure. Jackson goes to around the outside, but she can't get anywhere. She loses 4 yards. Crazy legs Brown on the tackle.
4 tackles and 1 for loss.
Not bad indeed. Guess I'm not the only one coming up with creative names for the generics. Crazy Legs Brown. I like it.
I think a lot of the generics in this league have a lot of interesting names.
Mine are just pretty disgusting. And he jumps off sides. Second penalty marker on the field. And just another mistake for the Stallions here. And what is up with his face? Good God. That's Frankie Vincenzo. That dude's face got screwed up at some point.
We have a few of that going on down in San Juan. Something got into the water.
Oh, that's right. Crash called it elephantitis, and Hunter Jones makes a leaping pass to Jackson. She's going to get the first down and more out to the Syracuse 49-yard line, but the clock is stopped.
Stop clock for first down. Great play by Ashley to pick up quite a few yards on that play. Because I think the throw was just a yard or so behind the line of scrimmage and then off to the almost 15 yards, probably like 13, 14 yards on that play.
And Chapel Hill just continuing to dominate here. From the 49-yard line, Jackson alone in the backfield. 3 receivers out wide. And he's going to hand it off to Jackson, and she gets about 6 yards on the play. 189 yards, 9.9 average.
I think Ashley's going to enjoy that average.
She's been enjoying a lot of things lately. Wait, pause. She's definitely been enjoying this game.
9.9 though.
It's going to go off to her again, and she shoves off a tackle, and she gets the first down somehow. Out to the Syracuse 37-yard line.
Clock's going to keep moving. They're moving closer and closer to the end of the third quarter. And they're well within field goal range. Starting to get to that point where we're wondering if Syracuse is going to be able to do anything here. Otherwise, we're looking at who Chapel Hill might be playing in the playoff or the championship on Sunday.
They're getting closer and closer, for sure. And the third quarter is getting close out soon. Just about a minute left as Jones is with the fullback and Jackson in the backfield. Jackson's going to get the ball. Doesn't get very far. Only gets about 3 yards.
That'll hurt the average just a little bit. Ashley was in here earlier saying it's a team game, so I don't think she cares too much about the average of yards carried.
Yeah, I was going to say, as long as they get to the championship game, she's going to have another game to get that average back up if she really cares that much. But San Juan, if they do make the championship, is not a very easy team to run against. As Shea Carroll gets away, it's going to be another touchdown. The first one that isn't Ashley Jackson. And he has been a force to reckon with, too, for this Cobras offense. Shea Carroll.
Trying to read touchdown over the scoreboard. I felt like I was bad at reading. It was going so slow. But there's your first reception touchdown of the season. I mean, not the season, the game.
Of the playoffs.
Yeah. First reception, passing reception touchdown of the season, and they're in the playoffs. Yeah. But anyway, 48-14.
Extra point pending, and it's just getting further and further away from Syracuse. And you kind of start to wonder, it's getting less and less likely the more this score runs up.
They really need to start doing something special to be able to get back into this game at this point. You know, I hate to be that person to say that, but their window is very swiftly shutting here.
I wonder what the biggest comeback is in any kind of simulation league with APF. What's the biggest you've seen? The biggest comeback?
21-24 points.
As Martino brings it out to the 33-yard line, zipping through defenders. Good return by him once again.
Got a whole fourth quarter to go still.
And the Cobras have already put up 49 points on the board. I mean, they're running the score up. This is definitely not how I expected to see this game, as how they were very close during the season, as Jukum gets taken down in the backfield.
Jukum has yet to reach 100 yards, and I believe Ashley ended up reaching 100 yards, likely in the first quarter.
In the first quarter. I think she's getting close to 200. We just know she's running up that touchdown count. I actually think that brings her up to 30 on the season. Yeah, she had 25 total rushing yards in the regular season, so that's 30 overall.
Time for some fourth quarter football.
Get those fours up in the chat, folks. We are 11 minutes away from the end of the first playoff game in the APFSL. Fettuccine to throw. He's going to sidearm it to the middle, and oh, it's incomplete. Another long third down here. Bubba Gump on the deflection.
Man, just did not have an opportunity there. Right into his hands and then just hit by two people.
One receiver's name I'm surprised we haven't called it is Adriano Capo. He, I don't think he has a reception yet.
His name came up once earlier.
Did it? I don't remember honestly. Empty backfield for Fettuccini. He's gonna throw. It's going out to the side. Can he get there? No, he can't. 4th and 3.
Good swarm by Chapel Hill to make sure that they didn't get a first down because it looked pretty wide open. It looked like a great opportunity for a first down, and all of a sudden there were three people there, and it wasn't enough, unfortunately. Now it's fourth down, and they're going to be punting it, and they don't have a lot of room for a lot of options anymore.
Yeah, and another punt for Syracuse. And they are going to call a fair catch here. Ashley Jackson as that's out on the 27-yard line.
Down to the last 10 minutes and 19 seconds left in the first playoff game. We got more football action for everybody right after that. On to the second game.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see something closer for that. Maybe you won't want to see it closer, but you know, the fighter jets have been inconsistent, but not bad. As they finished 5-4, and Jones has got a man deep. Senor Chappelle is away. 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Cobras once again. Another passing touchdown for Hunter Jones.
For some reason, I thought he was going to drop that. I don't know why. I had it in my head that's not going to be completion, and it was.
He did well to beat his defenders there.
Good catch on that ball and just making sure nobody could catch up with you. It's all the way to the end zone and 6 more points.
And Chappelle Legusta, that pass from Hunter Jones it puts him up almost more than 40 points now. 55-14 with Mike Cox extra point pending.
See if they can make it a 42-point game.
They're taking their sweet time to snap that, and there it is, and it is good. 56-14, 10 minutes away for the Cobras. They have 10 minutes to hold off, which is the way things are going. It seems like they are gonna get there, unfortunately for the Stallions.
I think it's fairly likely that the Stallions are probably not going to come away with a win. Now the question is, do you have any plays you want to try? Do you have any personnel you want to put on the field? You got an opportunity to try something here before you go back and, relook at your playbook for next season.
Oh, and Martino, it looks like there's a flag on the field, but Martino is away to the sideline. Just one man to beat. Can he beat him? No, he can't. But there is a penalty marker on the field. Let's see what it is here.
Be unfortunate if that was on the return and that came back.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be a hold on the receiving team, it looks like. Yes, it is. And it's going to bring the ball all the way back to the Syracuse 16-yard line. And that one is going to hurt.
I think they lost about 55 yards or 60 yards on that one.
Goodness gracious.
That penalty.
I actually didn't see a hold on that one. I'm kind of surprised that was called. 1st and 10 from the 16-yard line for the Stallions here. And they're going to hand it off here to Jukum. Jukum gets down the middle. He's going to get down to the sideline, and he gets caught. Bubba Gump on the tackle. Good play by Jukum, but that clock is running.
Yeah, really good plays by Jukum. He's really shown some great runs and great opportunities in this game. They just haven't been able to put it together on all of the cylinders of that team, unfortunately. And that's one of the things you got to do when it comes to the playoffs is you can't slow down in any area or the other team is going to take advantage of it because they're likely always going to be teams that are going to be able to take advantage of your weaknesses. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in the playoffs.
Jurgen gets another carry here, and after a minute there, he gets taken down for a loss of a yard there. That is on her knees with the tackle.
I'm curious to see what the time of possession is going to be for these teams after the game. I think it's going to be very close. Chapel Hill is going to have a little bit more time of possession, but not nearly enough to justify the 40-some point advantage they have right now.
And Jacob's going to get the handoff again, and he's going to get a few yards there. He's got out to the 5. But another third down with the clock running. I just don't... There's just probably, most likely not going to be enough time for anything else to happen here.
No, so we can see how these teams are going to wrap up the rest of this game.
Empty backfield here for Fettuccini. 2 receivers to either side of him. Clock still running, and he's going to snap the ball here. He's going to deep drop back. He's going to go out to the sideline. Oh, they're going to call it incomplete.
4th and 5.
Honestly, you might as well go for this, right?
Got nothing to lose now.
And that pass was intended for Adriano Capo. There he is now. But it looks like they're going to punt here as the special teams is out on the field.
Probably don't want to injure any of their offensive personnel this close to the end of the game.
For sure, but I mean, just like the SFL, we have magical doctors that bring players back for the next game. But at this point, you might be seeing the backups get in the game. No, I
That's
see
pretty
Ashley
likely.
Jackson. I see Ashley Jackson and the entire starting offense out there. They're going to keep running the score up. Jackson alone in the backfield. 3 receivers to his right side. And he's going to throw here. Again, oh, dangerous pass. Good play by the Syracuse defense here.
Good tip on the football.
And that is Mateo on the deflection here.
Otherwise, that ball probably would have went straight to the receiver. I don't know if anybody was covering him on that side.
That pass already got up for Hunter.
Yeah, 112-8.
3
I
passing
think that was
touchdowns.
the 2 extra passing touchdowns since the last time we saw it.
He's going to go to the middle here, and a diving catch by... I always forget who 82 was again. I think... No, I don't remember. Third and 3 from their own 34-yard line. Let's see if they hand it off to Ashley Jackson, because they've been passing quite a bit here. And they will indeed pass it off, and she is not going to get there, just short.
Honestly, I'd love to see Chapel Hill troll them and run for the first down and just keep control of the clock for the rest of the game. And
It doesn't look like we're going to see that, as funny as that would be. Mike Hunt is out on the field to punt that ball away. And Syracuse gets another possession here to try and get something back on the board for their pride. Martino brings it out to the 24-yard line. Here we go from the 24-yard line. Syracuse is going to try and get something on the board here. And it looks like they're about to run it here. And they are indeed going to run it here as Jukum shoves a defender to the floor and doesn't get there. I thought he got there, but they're going to say it's second and inches.
130 yards so far for Jukum. You know, he's not necessarily had a bad day.
The problem
They
is
just not had a great balance of run and pass work for them so far in this game.
Yeah, I was going to say he's it's been mostly him that's been doing most of the work for this offense here, but they haven't been able to get very far. And they're going to hand it off to him again, and he's going to get the first down. Brings it up to the 37-yard line.
Looks like we're seeing the last little bit of this team here before the end of this game. It looks like it's Syracuse that's going to be heading home and Chapel Hill heading into the championship this weekend.
And they're going to probably stand by and watch what's going to happen with that game later when the Orcas are hosting the Fighter Jets, owned by yours truly, AJ Francis, the league commissioner. And Fettuccine to throw here. He's going to launch it down and intercepted again. That is Bubba Gump.
It's not the way you want to end your playoff game for that team. It's just not been working for the Stallions.
You know, they've been playing a lot differently from how we've seen them during the regular season. I mean, it's definitely to Chapel Hill's credit that they've been playing really well, but Syracuse, it's just not been their day. I'm going to give a quick shout out to AJ Francis, our league commissioner, for making all of this possible for us, getting this league started, and working really hard for us to be able to do all of this. I mean, putting the rosters together and everything. Make sure you give him some love too, along with Crash Combs for recording all of these games for us to watch. Originally, the plan was we weren't even going to have these games recorded and be watchable, but because of Crash, we actually can get this done, and having us here call this game. Jones to throw. He's going to go to the middle, and it's going to be incomplete. Intended for Shea Carroll. 3rd and 11.
It's awesome to have these games. Otherwise, and it adds a whole different dimension than just looking at stats. Your players feel more real when you get to see them on the field.
Absolutely. I mean, this league definitely got way bigger than we expected. I mean, it was just going to be like a few owners and like have fun with it, build play, just like some practice playbooks, but then people started joining the league, and it is definitely, it's been a lot of fun to have going on during the SFL offseason. Jones is going to launch it deep, and he's got a guy, Shea Carroll. Another touchdown as they get to the 60-point mark, and he's looking like he's showboating here just to add insult to injury.
I'm starting to wonder if the Stallions have put in their backup defense.
Goodness gracious. And that score just keeps running up as they're almost down by 50 points.
They make this field goal, I believe, and my math is usually never right, that it's going to be a 49-point game.
I believe you're right. Yes, it is.
That's about the extent of my math skills.
Me too. And the extra point is up, and it is good. 5 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter.
So who do you think is going to be your player of the game?
It's got to be Ashley Jackson for me. 5 touchdowns, and she's close to that 200-yard mark.
To play devil's advocate, look at all those yards and 4 touchdown passes now put up by that quarterback.
It's possible. You could go to Hunter Jones too.
Great performances by both of them, but I think Ashley Jackson is, I guess, a more spectacular set of stats, especially for.
As
Looks like we got an injury.
They have an injury on the field. Stella Virgin.
Not a good day to be him, unfortunately.
It looks like one of the backup tight ends. Not going to be fun for him, but hopefully he'll be up and ready to go. We'll see what the injury is later.
See what the future has for him.
1st and 10 for Syracuse from the 27-yard line. Got 3 receivers out wide. Juke him in the backfield. Fettuccine to throw. A little bit of pressure, and that pass is incomplete. Deflected away by the Sanchez, Khalil Cohen.
Good good block picked up in the backfield. Otherwise, it would have been a sack by Sheffield. It ended up being an incomplete pass, but it was very close to being a sack on the Syracuse quarterback.
After the incomplete pass, they're 2nd and 10. A receiver to either side of Fettuccini. Jukum in the backfield. 5 minutes remaining in the fourth. It's going to go to Jukum and gets about 4 yards on the play, but it's going to set up another 3rd down.
5.1 yards per carry, 137 yards.
Not a bad game for Jukum.
No, most of the time, if you can get over 100 yards, you're having a pretty good game as a running back.
I think he had a touchdown too on there. He might have had both. Fettuccini to throw on 3rd down, and that's going to be incomplete. I thought that was intercepted for a second, but no, that is going to go incomplete.
I'm hoping they decide to go for it now. I mean,
nothing to lose now at this point.
See if you can stop the score from being any worse than it already is.
Bubba Gump wasn't even looking at the
ball.
That's how skilled this Chapel Hill secondary is. And it looks like they are going to go for it on 4th down. From their own 32-yard line. Split backfield, 3 receivers to his left, 1 to his right. And he is going to throw here, and he's going to go to the middle, and he's got a guy to convert the 4th down. That's Mickey Martino, and now they are going to run no huddle.
I think this is the first time they ran no huddle in this game, and there's 4 minutes left.
Yeah, I think you're right. And Fettuccini to throw here again. It's going to go out to the side to Jukum, and he goes backwards and loses 5 yards.
Seemed a little bit afraid to try to make contact on that play.
He might have just lost his balance too.
Well, you can just you can see him hesitate. He stops and then just starts running out of bounds again. That'll unfortunately lose you some yards.
You know, despite how they have played in the playoffs, Syracuse definitely has a lot to look forward to for next season. I mean, they are a good football team, and they've made the playoffs. They were pretty solid throughout the season. As Fettuccini launches it downfield, and it is incomplete. 3rd and a mile away to set up this 3rd down here from their own 37-yard line. Bubba Gump once again.
Awfully close on that play. I'm always a little bit concerned on those long throws.
Alright, let's see what they do here on 3rd down. Can they convert? Or will it be another 4th down they have to try and go for? Fettuccini to throw. He's going to go deep down the sideline, and he's got a guy! What a play! And they're going to go no huddle. I think that was Adriano Capo. Sorry, go ahead.
See if they can get a score with the last 4 minutes left in this game.
It's going to go out to Jukum on the side. Jukum's going to get about 4. They're going to keep going no huddle here, as they should be. Fettuccini to throw. He's going to go deep again, and he's got... Oh, no, he doesn't. It's incomplete. That was Adriano Capo again. And Stella Virgin got poked in the eye, so he's only going to be out a week.
Sounds like he's going to be okay.
Should be good to go for the championship game coming up on Sunday. 3rd and 6 here for Syracuse. The Chapel Hill Stadium getting pumped up here. Fettuccini to throw. He's going to go down, and it is complete. I could not tell who that was. I believe that was Sergio Gurgio, the tight end. Every time I have to say his name, it's kind of a tongue twister. Fettuccini out to Jukum, goes backwards again and gets positive yardage, gets 7 yards. They're getting closer and closer, knocking on the door.
think Juka might have been hit a few too many times.
Fettuccini once again is going to go to the middle and a diving. No, incomplete.
Just couldn't quite get it, unfortunately. Awfully close. At least it stops the clock, gives them a little bit of time to think, because it's 3rd and 3. They moved really well down the field. Hate to have to just kick a field goal this late in the game, especially with the decent drive you've been putting together. At the very least, try to cap off this game with 7 points and go home.
It's going to be a long flight back to Italy for them as Fettuccini's going to throw, and he is going to convert, and he's still going out to the 6-yard line. 1st and goal.
Under 3 minutes. See how much time left on the clock Chapel Hill will need to be able to burn to be able to end the game. Question is 3 minutes too much time?
I don't know what they're going to do here, but if I was the coach, I would tell them to just run that ball out. No need to keep running out the score anymore. It's already bad enough.
Looks like they don't agree with you.
I'm talking about when Chapel Hill gets the ball back. Fettuccini to throw, and it's going to be a touchdown. Mickey Martino, another one of the bright spots for Syracuse.
It's definitely the best way they could have gone out in this game. It's been downhill almost from the start of the game, unfortunately, but they got a good touchdown and a good drive, and that's probably maybe it for the Syracuse offense. We'll see what happens when Chapel Hill gets the ball.
Perhaps if Hunter Jones starts passing the ball, he might do another one of his classic Hunter Jones moments and throw another interception.
You never know. Some days you think the interceptions are going to stop, and they just don't.
And the kick is good by Pescara. And this is going to make it 63-21 as Syracuse gets a little bit of consolation here as they line up for the onside kick. Can they get the ball back here? And the kick is away, and it is recovered by Chapel Hill.
See if Chapel Hill is going to be able to put the game to an end here, or whether or not Syracuse is going to get one more shot at the offense.
I imagine Syracuse is probably going to use their timeouts to try and get the ball back once again after the 2-minute warning. Jackson in the backfield, 2 receivers to his left, and Jackson is going to get the ball and gets hit hard in the backfield. Loss of a yard.
Gonna have to run the ball one more time, snap the ball one more time before the 2-minute warning.
What are you looking forward to in the next match, Marcus?
Oh, that's a tough question. I'm looking for a good competitive game that isn't completely run away with by the Orcas.
From a broadcast point of view, I'm sure you're saying that.
Yeah, we always want to see good competitive football in this league. You never want to see one team outscore the other by too far, because sometimes that, it's just not fun for the people who aren't winning and not as competitive and as exciting as you want it to be for everybody else.
So we roll down here to the 2-minute warning. Go ahead.
Orcas have a strong run team, so we'll see if her run defense is going to be up to snuff. Tristan Carr has really done a good job so far in the league as a running back.
And it's pretty interesting for the Orcas, the way they've lined up their roster is they only employ 1-star offense player, who is in fact Tristan Carr, so it's no surprise to see him ending the season the way he did, with 3,017 yards and 25 touchdowns. And it's also no surprise that he got the most carries in the league too at 400.
Yeah, he's working a lot for the Orcas.
Since 4th and 6 here, the Cobras are going to punt the ball. And we are, in fact, going to see Syracuse one more time at just under 2 minutes. And they did burn one timeout. So let's see if they can get one more score here, as that ball's going to go out of bounds at the 10-yard line. They have 90 yards to go here, which should just about do it.
Yep, likely the ball will probably go back to Chapel Hill one more time, and they'll just then run out the clock and it'll be over. So we'll see how this goes.
And the defender jumps off sides here, as there's a flag on the field. That pass is deflected by no you. And it is in fact going to be offsides against the Cobras.
So it's going to be a free 5-yard play. But unfortunately, the time is going to stay off the clock.
I probably would have gone a little bit deeper on that play, having seen that penalty marker.
Yep.
4 receptions for 56 yards for Martino. Fettuccini in the backfield with 2 backs, and he is going to throw. Going to the middle, and what a catch by Martino to the 30-yard line. They're going to go no huddle here.
Now you're getting to the point where the last 2 timeouts even are going to help you if the other team gets the ball back.
Fettuccini going to go to the middle, almost intercepted. I believe that was... No, it wasn't no you. It was Adam Gibbs.
Minute and a half and 2nd and 10, so not a whole lot of time left in this game.
Let's see what they do here. 2nd and 10. Minute 30 left. 4 receivers out wide. He's going to throw here. He's going to go out to juke him, and he's just going to go straight out of bounds after. They're going to say he lost a yard.
Good news is he stopped the clock.
The downside is it's 3rd and long once again.
Gonna have to make a throw for the first down marker.
And the crowd getting pumped up once again. They are ready for this championship game. Fettuccini to throw. And he's going to go down for a sack. I believe that was Danny Colon. And that clock is running. No, it's not. They called a timeout.
Time to see what they're gonna do on 4th and 19. And they're gonna have to go for it, but question is, are they gonna convert 20 yards?
It's certainly possible, but with the way they've been passing today, I'm not so sure.
And then they'll be out of timeouts, and just about no matter what happens here, unless they convert, the game will be over and Chapel Hill will run out the clock or take knees and the clock will wind down.
And high snap. Fettuccini has the ball. He's going to launch it. And he's got a guy. Mickey Martino.
Taking their last time out here with 1 minute and 18 seconds left.
Certainly
Just
did
when you
well
thought it was
that
over,
play.
it's not.
What a conversion on 4th and 19 to get that first down. Great play by Martino and by Fettuccini.
One of their best offensive plays so far of the game.
Agreed.
At least when it comes to when it mattered.
4 receivers out wide. Empty backfield for Alfredo. Here he is. Fettuccini, Alfredo Fettuccini. And it is intercepted, and that is just about going to do it here, folks.
That'll give Chapel Hill the opportunity to take a knee and let the clock go down.
Mike Litteris on the interception. You can tell how mature I am when I made these names.
I'm afraid to say people's names.
Don't worry, the commissioner said it's okay.
Well, that's good.
We've definitely said worse things on air.
I'm sure.
As he takes the knee in victory formation there, and that clock is running.
So that's going to be it for the game. They're going to take a couple more here, and the game is going to come to an end.
And the Chapel Hill Cobras are going to be the first team to move on to the championship game as they will await the winner of the DC Fighter Jets and the Orcas coming up just shortly after this game. As there's going to do one more kneel down here, and that's going to do it. And despite the score, I definitely have a good time watching it. Not only because it's my team, but this league has definitely been a lot of fun to have during the off season.
It has, and it's good. It's nice to have those off-season leagues. Some do better than others, unfortunately, but it's really good to have. I'm not going to say any competition, or I just want variety of something to do when other leagues aren't in session. When the NFL's not going, I watch Canadian football, and it's nice to have football year round.
I mean, the AAF was a thing, but unfortunately for the AAF, we've lasted longer than them as the game is now over. Chapel Hill Cobras 61, Syracuse Stallions 21.
Let's take a look here at the post-game stats, and the most thing I'm most interested in is the time of possession. Only two more minutes, but 42 points.
Yeah, and Hunter Jones really did have a hell of a second half. I mean, he ended up with 412 yards. So, like you said earlier, Hunter Jones definitely made his case. 412 yards passing touchdown, four passing touchdowns. So, it's very possible it could go to either Jackson or Hunter Jones. I just think in the end, those interceptions might have hurt his chances at player of the game. So that's why I would go to Jackson because she did have the first 5 touchdowns before Hunter Jones started throwing them.
It's definitely not going to the kickers. We haven't had a field goal today in this game.
Unfortunately for my cock, he didn't get much attention today.
Never does.
And I guess I did say earlier we are going to call this a pause free zone, so no pause needed. And boy, Senior Chappelle was quick on that play.
Yeah, the Cobras have made a lot of good plays on offense in this game. Definitely showed why they deserve to be in the championship game.
And both of the teams that are going to play next, the Cobras beat the Fighter Jets twice, and the last team that the Orcas lost to were actually the Cobras, interestingly enough, out of their
Yeah,
two losses.
they're in a good spot for the championship. We'll just see whether or not they can hold it together or they fold on the biggest stage, the championship game.
And if they do end up seeing the Orcas again, which that's my prediction for who we're going to see, we are going to see a lot closer game because the Orcas they have a strong defense, and they've definitely they have the personnel to be able to stop backs
Well,
like Ashley Jackson.
did you see that camera?
I didn't.
Oh my gosh. So the guy was getting pushed out, and then all of a sudden the ball was on the ground on one of the yard markers, and it just zoomed in on the ball, and nobody was there.
Classic APF, am I right? And here it is, your player of the game. It is going to Ashley Jackson indeed. 21 carries, 201 yards for 5 touchdowns.
Definitely well deserved by Ashley in this game.
Absolutely indeed. And that is going to do it for us here from Chapel Hill, North Carolina. But stay tuned. We are going to have another game for you here today, as we have as we said before, the DC Fighter Jets and the #1 Orcas. Any closing thoughts on this game, Marcus?
I think the Stallions have a lot of good things going for them. It just wasn't their game. Try to figure out and dissect this and figure out what they need to do. They played a very good team, and it gives them a lot of good film to figure out what they can fix.
All right.
And then
Sorry.
Chapel Hill just needs to focus on the championship now.
All right. Thank you very much for joining me today here, Marcus Dunhill. And
Happy to be here.
I am Harish Prasad, and have a good night for about 5 minutes as we will return for the second game of the evening.